This Civil Rights Act is a challenge to all of us to go to work in our communities and our states, in our homes and in our hearts, to eliminate the last vestiges of injustice in our beloved country.
Powerful words from Texan and former President Lyndon B. Johnson the moment Black Americans received basic civil rights. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special half hour of Spectrum News 1. I'm Dr. Nicole Cross.
And I'm Charles Divins. February is Black History Month, and we here at Spectrum News 1 are celebrating the impact Black Americans have made and are still making here in Texas and across the world.
You know, nearly 4 million Black Americans call Texas home. More than half, about 65%, live in Houston and the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Austin, San Antonio, and Beaumont also boast significant Black populations.
Black History Month has been around since 1976, and this year's theme is Black Resistance, which focuses on how African Americans have resisted oppression. I spoke with an associate professor at UTSA about this, and here's what Dr. Jasmine Harris had to say about how this is affecting today's generation.
We really have to resist against misinformation. There is an active push to eliminate all of the knowledge and information that we have about the importance of Black people to American culture, to American history. We are seeing an active push to remove information about the atrocities of slavery, about the violence of Jim Crow, and the continued violence against Black people. You know, when I get these students in my classes, they are shocked by what they don't know. And they feel a little bit betrayed by the education system for leaving so much of the history out. But they are also much more proactive and interested in social change, perhaps than generations previous. And they have the power of social media, which previous generations did not have. And that allows them to communicate, to create collectives, and to continue to resist these attacks on history.
As we've mentioned, Texas is the birthplace of Juneteenth, the holiday that commemorates the emancipation of enslaved people. A Texan known as the grandmother of Juneteenth is making sure its significance is never forgotten. I'm talking about Opal Lee. She is creating a national Juneteenth museum right here in the Lone Star State. Our Luby Zapata gives us a preview.
You see the Blue House? That's where I was raised. I'd walk from that over to I Am Terrell every day. That was a theater right there.
At 96 years old, Opal plans on making new memories in her old neighborhood with the National Juneteenth Museum.
Everything down to where the church is, we've acquired that.
This area just 2 miles south of downtown Fort Worth is the starting point for Opal's annual Walk for Freedom, which was instrumental in making Juneteenth a national holiday in 2021.
And we've got to raise about 40 million in Fort Worth. Then we can go nationally and ask for the other 30. And I'm just delighted. We're supposed to open 2025. But just think, if we got the money earlier, we could open 2024.
Opal hopes this $70 million project will transform this underserved neighborhood.
Look at it from here.
Her dreams include a 50,000 square foot museum, a business incubator to promote Black entrepreneurship, a food hall featuring culturally Black cuisine, and a flexible performance space.
Anybody can rent it, lease it, and configure it any way they want to.
And there to help her make it happen is Opal's granddaughter, Dion. For years, she served as Opal's manager and is now founding executive director of the museum.
It is going to be a center, an epicenter, really, for developing the historic South Side to its former glory.
Dion, along with city leaders, hopes the museum will draw 35,000 visitors a year.
I, like my grandmother, believe that Juneteenth is a unifier, but you have to be able to talk about the situation so that you can heal from it. And I really believe that Juneteenth will be the catalyst that helps us heal America.
We've got to get out of the notion that it's just for Black folk or Texas folk. It's for everybody. And there's so many things that we're not free from now.
Man, what a story.
I love it. We thank our Luby Zapata for that
Yes.
story. And honestly, you know, as a Black woman, hearing Opal Lee talk about Juneteenth and all that it is and is becoming, it gives me a sense of pride.
Yeah, and you see a march turned into a movement, turned
Yes.
into real action, and now she's alive to see the fruits of her labor with this museum and her portraits being hung in the state capitol. It's just it is a true story of Black history still in the making.
Yeah, and it's the reality that Black history continues. We continue to make Black history across Texas and beyond in so many ways, and in a way that so many people can link arms with the African American community, join forces in celebrating all that has occurred up until this point.
And it's about celebrating.
Yes.
I love that. It's about celebrating. We have a lot more coming up. Meet the woman leading one of Austin's oldest colleges.
I love y'all guys. Love you, love you, love you. Okay, see you later. Bye. Go be great. Bye. Go create something that doesn't exist.
How she's inspiring the future generation while staying close to her roots.